Imagine for a moment that you are not merely the sum of your memories, not the random convergence of genetics and circumstance, but a traveler upon an ancient and infinite continuum. Beneath the familiar surface of your life, the daily rhythms, the familiar streets, the faces that greet you, there lies a hidden current, subtle yet unyielding. It is here, in this quiet undercurrent of existence, that the profound notion takes root. You have lived this life before, not once, not twice, but countless times, and in a choice that transcends linear time, you have returned to it again. This is not a concept that can be hurriedly grasped, for it challenges the most foundational assumptions we cling to about identity, destiny, and the flow of reality itself. To encounter it is to peer behind the curtain of illusion, to glimpse the skeletal architecture of the cosmos beneath the familiar tapestry of everyday life. In this framework, life becomes less a series of random occurrences and more a carefully choreographed dance of conscious decision. Each encounter, each challenge, and even each moment of apparent chance is imbued with the echo of past choices, the lingering resonance of decisions made across an expanse of existence that stretches beyond memory. The familiar streets you walk may bear the invisible footprints of selves you once were. The people you meet may be echoes of connections forged in epochs that time cannot measure. And yet, within this cosmic repetition, there is also choice, a deliberate, almost audacious act of return. You have chosen to inhabit this life again, with all its trials, joys, and hidden lessons, as though the soul itself were a navigator, circling back to grasp what remains unfinished, to feel once more the tapestry of experience in a new pattern of awareness. To truly contemplate this notion is to step into a hall of mirrors, where every reflection hints at not only what you are now, but also what you once were and what you might become. It requires a suspension of linear logic, an openness to the idea that consciousness is not bound by birth or death, by beginning or ending. In this sense, the life you know is both a familiar stage and an ancient script, one that you have read before yet find yourself reading anew, turning the pages with both recognition and wonder. Here, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the mundane unfolds into the mysterious. A morning cup of tea is no longer just a momentary pleasure. It is a ritual threaded through multiple existences, a familiar pattern in the symphony of your own recurrence. Yet the cosmic perspective does not strip life of its urgency or poignancy. On the contrary, it imbues each experience with layers of depth and significance that may otherwise go unnoticed. A fleeting glance, a passing conversation, a sudden insight, each can be a bridge between the now and the infinite, a point of intersection where the temporal and the eternal coalesce. In understanding that you have returned by choice, you gain the startling realization that even what appears as suffering or misfortune carries intention, opportunity, and purpose. It is as if the universe itself conspires not merely to test, but to teach, and your repeated presence is the affirmation that you are capable of learning, of growing, of refining the self through the kaleidoscope of countless lived moments. To explore this idea is to engage with life on two planes simultaneously: the immediate, tangible reality, and the vast, unseen continuum, where choices ripple forward and backward in time. The very act of living becomes a negotiation with memory, destiny, and the self that exists beyond chronological constraints. It suggests that your life is not only yours to inhabit, but also yours to co-author, in collaboration with unseen forces, and the deep wisdom of the soul's repeated journeys. In this light, the familiar is never truly ordinary, and the future is not merely a distant horizon, but a canvas upon which past, present, and potential selves converge. As we embark on this exploration, allow yourself to feel the weight and the wonder of such a revelation. The idea that you have lived this life before is not a casual metaphor. It is an invitation to peer into the hidden structure of reality, to recognize the recurring motifs that shape your existence, and to awaken to the extraordinary subtlety of your own participation in the cosmos. Whether this life is a continuation of unfinished lessons, a deliberate choice to revisit moments of profound joy or pain, or a path toward mastering the self, the truth remains compelling. You are not simply here by accident. You have returned, consciously or unconsciously, to dance once more upon the intricate stage of life, carrying with you the echoes of countless versions of yourself. And in acknowledging this, you open a doorway, a luminous threshold into understanding the patterns that govern your existence, and the depth of agency inherent in the soul's repeated journey. Here, then, is the invitation to walk slowly, to observe intently, to feel deeply, and to consider the extraordinary possibility that your choices, your struggles, and your triumphs are part of a timeless, recursive narrative. The life you inhabit now is both a reflection and a projection, a known story and a mystery yet to be unveiled. To see it in this light is to awaken to a profound awareness, one that can transform how you perceive the world, how you act within it, and how you understand yourself, not as a single fleeting being, but as an eternal traveler returning home once more. To delve into the idea that you have lived this life before, and you chose it again, is to begin tracing the invisible threads that bind the eternal self to the cyclical nature of existence. At the heart of this philosophy lies the recognition of recurring patterns, subtle, often imperceptible rhythms that hum beneath the surface of daily life. These are the motifs of experience, the mirrored echoes of decisions made long before this incarnation, reverberating across time as if life itself were a carefully composed symphony. In perceiving these patterns, one begins to see that events we deem coincidences are more accurately seen as the universe's way of guiding a familiar consciousness back along pathways it has walked before. Each encounter, triumph, and challenge becomes not an isolated event, but a deliberate note in a recurring melody, a call to recognition and engagement with what has been left unresolved or yet to be fully realized. The first core theme, then, is intentional recurrence. This notion challenges the casual perception of life as a linear march from birth to death. Instead, it presents existence as a series of deliberate returns, each orchestrated by the soul's desire to grow, to understand, and to refine its experience. The repetition is not punishment. It is pedagogy at the level of the eternal self. In this sense, every circumstance, whether it appears joyful, mundane, or painful, serves as a teacher. Life is not random but patterned, a reflection of choices made long before conscious memory began. By recognizing the echoes of past lives and present circumstances, we begin to grasp the profound agency embedded in our journey, the ability to choose again and again the exact conditions in which we wish to awaken, to evolve, and to test the unfolding wisdom of the soul. Closely intertwined with this is the theme of conscious participation. To have returned to this life by choice implies a level of awareness far beyond mere survival or adaptation. It suggests that the self is not simply a passenger within the flow of experience, but an active co-creator, shaping the circumstances it will encounter in order to cultivate understanding, mastery, or transcendence. This theme emphasizes that our current life is not merely the sum of external forces. It is the projection of internal intentions, filtered through a complex interplay of desire, learning, and spiritual calling. By acknowledging the deliberate nature of our recurrence, we are invited to inhabit our choices with heightened awareness, recognizing the hidden significance of even the smallest actions and decisions. Another pillar of understanding lies in the tension between illusion and truth. Much of what we take for granted, the solidity of the material world, the permanence of identity, the linearity of time is, from this perspective, a veil that obscures the deeper architecture of consciousness. This illusion is not designed to deceive, but to provide a playground, a space in which the soul can experiment, learn, and grow through experience. Yet beneath this veil, the truth remains. Identity is fluid, life is cyclical, and consciousness is the thread that ties past, present, and future together. By seeing through the layers of illusion, one begins to recognize the constancy of the returning self, the underlying agency that has chosen once more to engage with the human condition. This revelation is both humbling and empowering. Humbling, because it reminds us of the immensity of existence, and empowering, because it affirms that the soul carries a wisdom and autonomy that transcend the immediate material experience. Equally important is the theme of purpose woven into recurrence. Life in this view is not a haphazard series of events, but a deliberate stage upon which the soul plays out aspects of its own evolution. Each return to life represents a unique opportunity, a carefully selected arrangement of circumstances, designed to reveal hidden truths, to provide challenges that shape resilience, and to cultivate the virtues or skills that the self has yet to master. The soul, in choosing this life again, is engaging in an ongoing dialogue with itself, testing hypotheses of growth, exploring the consequences of choice, and refining its capacity for conscious action. In recognizing purpose behind the recurrence, the individual is invited to approach existence, not with passive acceptance, but with deliberate engagement, viewing even the most ordinary or difficult moments as integral to the larger narrative of evolution and self-realization. Finally, there is the theme of interconnection. In returning to this life, one is not merely revisiting isolated experiences, but re-entering a web of relationships, events, and environmental factors that are deeply interwoven with previous incarnations. These connections often carry resonance that transcends memory, creating a sense of déjà vu, intuition, or inexplicable familiarity. People, places, and even circumstances are chosen because they form part of the soul's continuing narrative, threads in a tapestry that extends across lifetimes. The recognition of this interconnectedness fosters a sense of empathy, a deeper understanding of the seemingly random flows of human interaction, and an awareness that every choice affects not only oneself, but the greater unfolding of consciousness. In the universe. In exploring these themes: intentional recurrence, conscious participation, illusion versus truth, purposeful design, and interconnection, we begin to grasp the profound depth inherent in the notion of living this life again. By choice, each theme reinforces the others, creating a lattice of understanding that stretches beyond immediate perception, revealing a cosmos that is at once intricate and intimately attuned to the soul's own evolutionary path. Here, life is no longer a simple unfolding of days, but a reflective dialogue with eternity, an ongoing conversation between what has been lived and what is yet to be consciously chosen. To truly internalize the notion that you have lived this life before and chose it again, we must step beyond abstract concepts and enter the realm of story and symbol, where truths are not stated but revealed, not argued but experienced. Symbols, after all, are the language of the soul, capable of conveying meanings that transcend linear speech. Imagine a vast library, each book a life lived, each volume inscribed not in ink, but in the luminous memory of consciousness. Some books have worn spines, others glow with the freshness of new insights. Yet all exist simultaneously, accessible to the discerning traveler who recognizes the threads connecting the narratives. This library is not merely a metaphor. It is the stage upon which the soul enacts its return, where motifs recur like leitmotifs in a grand cosmic symphony. Consider, for example, the recurring motif for the labyrinth. Across cultures and epochs, labyrinths have appeared as symbols of journey, challenge, and self-discovery. Imagine a labyrinth that shifts with every step, its corridors mirroring the twists and turns of your own life across multiple incarnations. In one lifetime, you might have wandered blindly through its passages, feeling trapped by circumstance, unaware that each wall is a reflection of your own choices. In another, you return with the faint memory of prior exploration, recognizing patterns, sensing hidden pathways, and navigating with a deeper awareness. The labyrinth, in this sense, is more than a puzzle. It is a metaphor for the recursive nature of existence, illustrating how the soul returns to familiar territories, not to repeat mistakes blindly, but to master the terrain it once traversed. In ignorance or fear, thought another symbol emerges in the form of mirrors. Imagine corridors lined with infinite mirrors, each reflecting not only your current self, but also echoes of who you were and glimpses of who you might become. The reflection shifts subtly, revealing not merely physical appearance, but the emotional, intellectual, and spiritual states you had inhabited before. At first glance, these mirrors can be disorienting, blending memory, intuition, and imagination, until the boundaries of past and present blur. Yet within this confusion lies clarity, the understanding that identity is fluid, layered, and recursive, that the choices you make today resonate across the spectrum of your existence. The mirrors remind you that to live consciously in the present is simultaneously to honor past experiences and prepare the terrain for future iterations of your own becoming. We can also perceive the motif of rivers, winding endlessly through landscapes, both familiar and alien. A river, in its relentless flow, embodies the passage of time, yet it carries sediments from all previous lifetimes, depositing echoes of choices and experiences along its banks. As you immerse yourself in this river, you may recognize familiar CURRENTS moments, challenges, or connections that feel like déjà vu. To navigate this river with awareness is to acknowledge that you have swum here before, and that each stroke, each ripple, is part of a larger current guiding you toward deeper understanding. Sometimes the water is turbulent, reflecting the soul's resistance. At other times, it is serene, mirroring the peace of alignment with purpose. In both, the river teaches, offering continuity and reflection, showing that the same life can be lived anew with greater insight and intentionality. Birds too become symbolic guides. Imagine a flock circling overhead, their flight patterns tracing intricate geometries across the sky. Each bird represents a decision, a relationship, or a lesson revisited, their movements choreographed in rhythms that you once observed, perhaps as a spectator, perhaps as a participant. Watching them, you realize that life is orchestrated not only by the choices you consciously make, but also by the unseen currents of recurring themes, challenges, and opportunities. The bird's flight illustrates freedom within structure, autonomy within the bounds of recurrence, and the possibility of navigating familiar patterns with renewed awareness. Their wings whisper of agency, reminding you that though you may encounter the same circumstances repeatedly, your perception and engagement are ever mutable. Lastly, the motif of the fire serves as a profound symbol of transformation. Fire consumes, illuminates, and purifies, leaving ashes that fertilize new growth. In the context of recurring lives, fire represents the alchemy of experience. Past mistakes, regrets, and sorrows are not mere burdens, but catalysts, combusting to illuminate lessons and clear the space for conscious choice. To encounter the fire is to confront the inevitability of challenge, yet within its blaze lies renewal. Each return to life, each chosen circumstance, carries the potential for transformative insight, a symbolic promise that the soul, despite repetition, is not trapped in a static loop, but engaged in an ongoing process of refinement and awakening. Through these narratives, the labyrinth, the mirrors, the river, the birds, the fire, we perceive a language that communicates the essence of repeated choice. Symbols provide a bridge between abstract understanding and lived experience, revealing the profound patterns that guide the soul's journey. They allow us to see that recurrence is neither arbitrary nor punitive. It is a dynamic, conscious dance, a continuous opportunity to perceive, to learn, and to evolve with intentionality. The exploration of recurring life patterns, symbolic narratives, and the conscious choice to return to existence might appear ethereal, even abstract, yet their implications are profoundly practical. To acknowledge that you have lived this life before is not an exercise in fantasy. It is a call to engage with your present existence with renewed intentionality, to recognize the hidden architecture of experience, and to act with awareness informed by the echoes of past journeys. When understood and applied, these insights transform the mundane into the extraordinary, imbuing ordinary choices with cosmic resonance. Consider the way relationships unfold. Familiar connections, those inexplicable affinities, or persistent conflicts often reflect patterns of choice that have resonated across lifetimes. By perceiving the possibility that these interactions are not mere happenstance, you gain the ability to approach them with heightened discernment. Conflicts that once seemed destructive may reveal themselves as opportunities for growth, as arenas where unresolved tensions from past existences can be consciously addressed. Likewise, moments of profound connection may be understood not merely as chance meetings, but as carefully orchestrated intersections, chosen by the returning self to foster mutual learning and evolution. In daily life, this perspective encourages patience, empathy, and a willingness to engage more deeply with others, seeing each encounter as a deliberate opportunity to learn, forgive, or transform. Daily routines, too, take on renewed significance. The act of choosing this life again implies that even the seemingly trivial aspects of existence, your work, your habits, your environment, are part of a carefully designed stage upon which the soul's evolution unfolds. A morning ritual, a moment of stillness, or an intentional act of creativity becomes a microcosm of the larger narrative, a deliberate brushstroke in the ongoing painting of conscious experience. Recognizing the sacredness in repetition allows one to live with greater mindfulness, infusing routine actions with purpose and presence. Each moment becomes a chance to align with the deeper currents of recurring intention, to act not out of reflex, but with the awareness of having returned knowingly to these circumstances. The awareness of recurrence also reframes the experience of challenge and adversity. Life's difficulties are no longer solely obstacles or misfortunes. They are invitations to engage with familiar lessons in a new and conscious way. If you have lived through a particular form of suffering before, your return signifies an opportunity for mastery, an occasion to approach familiar trials with wisdom, resilience, and discernment that may have been absent in previous encounters. This reframing transforms suffering from a source of despair into a potential wellspring of insight, catalyzing growth, compassion, and inner strength. By recognizing that challenges are both chosen and meaningful, you gain agency, moving through adversity with a sense of purposeful engagement rather than reactive submission. Time, too, is experienced differently through this lens. When one perceives life as a sequence of chosen returns, moments expand. The pressure of linear deadlines or future anxieties softens. Life is no longer solely a march toward endpoints, but a series of intentional experiences, each echoing across the continuum of existence. This awareness invites reflection, strategic action, and thoughtful planning, guided not by fear of the unknown, but by alignment with the soul's recurring intentions. Decisions about career, relationships, or personal growth become opportunities to honor the broader patterns of experience, choices imbued with both immediate and trans-temporal significance. Moreover, embracing this understanding cultivates a profound sense of responsibility and agency. If life is chosen, then passivity becomes a conscious decision itself. Every action, thought, and intention resonates beyond the immediate moment, contributing to the evolving narrative of the self and the subtle web of interconnected lives. A recognition that you have returned to this life deliberately fosters ethical engagement, purposeful creativity, and a deeper awareness of how personal choices ripple outward. In essence, to live consciously in this light is to inhabit your own power fully, honoring the recurring patterns that have shaped you, while actively shaping the reality you experience in each present moment. Practical integration also extends to introspection and self-observation. By noticing recurring tendencies, emotional triggers, and habitual thought patterns, one begins to map the unseen echoes of past experiences. Meditation, journaling, or contemplative reflection become tools, not merely for understanding the present, but for decoding the motifs that recur across lifetimes. Through such practices, the soul cultivates the capacity to navigate recurring patterns with clarity, to respond rather than react, and to make choices that align with deeper intentions. In this way, the mystical understanding of recurrence becomes a lived reality, bridging the gap between abstract insight and tangible transformation. Ultimately, the recognition that you have lived this life before and chose it again transforms the way you engage with every aspect of reality. Relationships, routines, challenges, ambitions, and even fleeting moments are no longer isolated events, but threads in an intricate tapestry, woven with intention and imbued with meaning. Life becomes a laboratory for conscious evolution, a terrain where awareness, reflection, and choice converge. The practical implication is profound. By acknowledging the echoes of past choices and acting with intention in the present, you align with the deeper currents of existence, moving through life with purpose, presence, and clarity. As we arrive at the culmination of this exploration, the full scope of the journey begins to reveal itself. To understand that you have lived this life before, and that, in a conscious or subconscious choice, you return to it is the step into a perspective that simultaneously humbles and empowers. It is a lens through which the ordinary assumes the extraordinary, the mundane transforms into the sacred, and every heartbeat resonates with echoes of eternal recurrence. Life, once perceived as a linear progression of cause and effect, becomes a multidimensional tapestry of choice, intention, and reflection, woven with threads that stretch beyond memory, beyond chronology, into the subtle realms of timeless consciousness. Soul's decision to return is not a random impulse. It is an act of courage, a deliberate engagement with complexity, challenge, and the potential for profound transformation. By choosing to inhabit this life again, the soul embraces not only what has been experienced, but also what remains to be understood, mastered, or redeemed. It is a choice to confront recurring patterns with wisdom, to navigate familiar landscapes with conscious agency, and to participate in the ongoing evolution of the self. Recognition of this dynamic invites a radical recalibration of perspective. Each encounter, every trial, and even the most fleeting moments become touchstones of purpose, reflecting lessons that have reverberated across countless lifetimes. With this awareness comes responsibility. To live consciously within the framework of recurrence is to recognize that your choices are never insignificant. They ripple outward, shaping not only your own experience, but also the lives of others, and the intricate web of reality itself. You are both traveler and architect, navigating familiar terrains while contributing to the unfolding of universal patterns. The ordinary becomes an arena for mastery, the everyday a canvas for conscious creation, and the self a vessel through which eternal wisdom expresses itself. To act with this awareness is to honor the continuity of your journey and the profound intentionality that underlies your repeated return. Transformation occurs when this understanding moves beyond intellectual grasp into lived experience. It is realized in the deliberate cultivation of presence, the mindful engagement with relationships, and the conscious shaping of circumstances that previously unfolded unconsciously. By observing recurring themes, embracing symbolic insights, and applying them with intention, the individual moves through life with clarity, resilience, and insight. The labyrinths become navigable, the mirrors reveal guidance rather than confusion, and the rivers carry the self forward with both memory and anticipation. In doing so, you reclaim the power inherent in your repeated choice, aligning each action, thought, and intention with the overarching narrative of growth and self-realization. Yet perhaps the most profound aspect of this journey is the liberation it offers. To know that you have returned by choice imbues existence with purpose, while simultaneously freeing you from the illusion of randomness or futility. Even failure, suffering, and loss are reframed as vital components of a carefully orchestrated journey, necessary elements in the alchemy of the soul. The fire of experience, once feared or resented, is embraced as a transformative force, illuminating truths and clearing space for wisdom, compassion, and deeper understanding. Recognition of this interplay fosters courage, the courage to engage fully with life, to embrace its challenges, and to pursue the evolution of self with intention and grace. Ultimately, the knowledge that you have lived this life before and chose it again is an invitation to awaken. It asks you to see beyond the surface of reality, to observe patterns, to reflect upon recurring themes, and to act with conscious purpose. It is a call to inhabit each moment fully, to recognize the sacredness in repetition, and to align with the deeper currents of existence that shape the soul's journey. To answer this call is to move beyond passive experience, to embrace active participation, and to cultivate an awareness that transforms life from a series of random events into a deliberate, meaningful odyssey. As you carry this awareness forward, let it guide the way you interact with yourself, with others, and with the unfolding world. Let it illuminate choices, inspire reflection, and foster an understanding that even the most ordinary moments are imbued with significance. Life, in all its repetition, challenge, and beauty, becomes a playground for conscious evolution, a stage upon which you enact the profound and intricate dance of the self across time and space. You are the traveler who has returned, the soul who has chosen again, and the conscious agent capable of shaping not only this life, but the eternal continuum to which it belongs. Step into this awareness fully and live with intention, clarity, and reverence. The echoes of past lives are not burdens to carry, but guides to follow. The labyrinth is not a trap, but a map. The mirrors are not illusions, but revelations. The rivers do not sweep you blindly forward, but teach you the art of navigation. The fire does not destroy, but transforms. Embrace them all, and you embrace yourself, your eternal self, returning once more to experience, to learn, and to create with conscious purpose. Herein lies the transformational call to awaken, to observe, to act, and to honor the profound reality that you have chosen this life again. Step forward not as one adrift, but as one aware, as one returned, as one fully alive to the extraordinary depth of existence itself.